facing lawsuits for its alleged role in the fires, accusations of mismanagement, and reports that the company is in talks with restructuring firms. Joining us with his outlook is Tim Winter, portfolio manager for the Gabelli Utilities Fund. Gabelli is one of the top institutional investors in HE. Tim, it's good to have you. I guess the headline today was that the company argues restructuring is not the goal. Is that the reason for today's bounce?
Well, yes. First, thank you for having me on, and good afternoon. And I'd like to, and as a firm, we'd like to extend our prayers and sympathies to the victims and families of this tragic event, as well as the people of Maui and residents of Hawaii. And the stock is going to continue to be volatile for some time, trading on news. And, clearly that's a positive, indicator. We have to look at what we know and what we don't know. And there's certainly a lot that we don't know. There's currently no evidence that Hawaiian Electric's equipment has caused this, though they're being accused of it. The negligence standard in Hawaii is a little bit higher than California, but nonetheless, the uncertainty is causing a crisis of confidence. As you mentioned, we've had credit rating downgrades. The stock is down. But we also know that Hawaiian Electric consists of three utilities, a bank, and a non-regulated generation company. Maui Electric is the smallest of the three utilities. It's about 10 to 15% of rate base. Management can't say with certainty that they can ring fence Maui Electric, but it's certainly going to be a legal defense. We do know that the bank can be isolated and separated. It's worth $8 to $9 a share. Yes, management is not interested in Chapter 11, at least at this point. They believe they have the sufficient liquidity over the near term to get through this. There's no maturities near term. But I think one of the important things is to try to understand how they're working with the state. People of Hawaii have great pride in their state. Hawaiian Electric itself has, and its employees and management, great pride in their being part of the community. And to the degree the state can work with the company as they look to restore confidence in this crisis, as well as restore service and rebuild and come up with policy going forward, will be really a primary determinant of the value of the company long term.
Do you think the bigger problem is the criticism that the company is facing for not turning off the power despite the weather forecasters, warnings for these winds, the potential liability there? Is that what investors are focused on?
Well, yes. And investors see lawsuits in other states, a jury award against Pacific Corp of a major amount. We have this uncertainty. We have the credit rating downgrades, and the accusations are going to be there, and the allegations until the investigation is complete. And so, clearly that's what's causing the crisis of confidence.
Well, we also remember, Tim, like PG&E in California, even though I think it was found to have followed the safety standards, was just saddled with so much liabilities related to the fires that it was forced into bankruptcy. So that's fresh.
Right. And so as a big picture, looking long term, let's use California as a template. Yes, PG&E faced significant liability. The state and policymakers passed legislation, wildfire legislation, to set up a wildfire fund, a $20 billion wildfire fund. They set up, a policy where the companies have to file wildfire mitigation plans and get safety certificates to be part of it to restrict their liability, and they've raised the liability standard. Since PG&E, and we are a holder of PG&E as well, has doubled in share price. It's one of the stronger performers year to date, as are the other California companies, Edison International as well. So I think if we can step back and look long term and big picture, utilities are partners in policy making with the regulators, government, and the customers. And so, we need they need to come up with a long-term solution that benefits everyone. So I think, bring up.
Yeah, and not to mention the broader discussion of what it's going to take to modernize the grid over the next 7 or 8 years. That we'll have that discussion, I'm sure, at a different time. Tim, it is a tough story. We appreciate your help today. Thank you.